Welcome home. Hello, this is Coming Home with Mama T. I'm your host, Tiara, aka Mama T. And on this podcast, we explore the journey of creating the life of your desires by mastering manifestation, maintaining a positive mindset, and living luxuriously. Today, I am joined by this luxuriously beautiful Herkimer diamond. It's got some, what is it, yellow, like the healer stone. I'm trying to think like now, what's it called? It's yellow something. But really it's about the, like, I can't even do it justice with the beautiful rainbow flashes in here, but I am working with this particular lovely crystal as it helps to align with manifesting. It helps to align with like self-confidence, and it vibrates at a frequency that is quite high. Got diamond in the name, is luxurious, boo-boo, and that is me. And in terms of working with crystals, it's not like the crystal is going to give you the power, right? It is more about really, it doesn't give you the power. It's about matching the frequency, right? It's like turning the dial on a radio. Like you're trying to listen to a song, and the crystal is the song, and you are like just tuning in to match the frequency of said crystal, because it works on like a molecular level. And when you come into a space, and like frequency tends to attract like frequency, but we can also change our frequency to match that, to be alike. That's what so we can feel in resonance, basically. And I find that when we focus in on like a particular frequency to work with, like love or whatever, we tend to experience things in our life that make it apparent that either maybe we don't love ourselves, so this is why it feels off, and we need to, like, how can we give ourselves more love? And we are brought situations that can help to amplify our awareness of where there is discrepancies between where we are and where we desire to be, and how we can better align with where we desire to be, and clear out and clean up and reorient to that space. So, holding this guy, and that is because it was also a recommendation by my lovely friend Karina Del Pezo. You might have seen her on an episode a couple weeks ago, where she shared her journey and creating her crystal shop, and creating and shifting from working in the veterinary world to being a healer and working with crystals. And she is a beautiful friend and mentor, so highly recommend checking her out at Terra Nova Crystals, where I got this beauty. And I also recently got my numerology done with her, and it's fun. I love to kind of revisit some of these things because one, my mindset is different from the first time. So when I had a numerology report done, I don't know, like 2-3 years ago, and that did create the impetus for me to start my Reiki master teacher journey. It got me started in the tarot. It got me started in a lot of things. It gave me permission to see myself as a leader even more so, in my circles, and it gave me permission to see myself as a leader and healer in the spiritual world, and in just the world in general, regardless of if it's spiritual or not. Like, just like see myself as a world leader. It gave me that permission. It's not like I didn't have it before, but by having this report done, it basically was like, this is your essence. And if you're not familiar with numerology is basically, we take your birth date, so the month, the number of the month, the number of the day, the number of the year, you add it up, and then you bring it down to one, sometimes two numbers. So basically you can be a ruling number 1 through 11. I am a ruling number 10. It also does go down to the 1, but there is something about a wholeness that comes with that 0 that we keep that 10. And as a ruling number 10, that is that is leadership, that is influencer, that is it is me, right? And so I had that the first time I did it. I was in the space of, feeling lost, and I was desperate for change in my life, and I was desperate to make something different and get out of having a career, and not a career, but having a 9-to-5 kind of job. I was desperate for just a huge shift in my life, and I was looking for something outside of myself to fix it. If I, at that time I would be all right, if I bought the right crystal, then $1 million will fall in my lap. If I buy the right this, or I invest in the right program, or I learn the right thing, I was looking for a quick pill fix, and it did not work out that way. I mean, I think the last 2 years have been shaking things up, and it's been extraordinary, and that the things that I invested in did bring around an entire shift. I've got relationships have changed, jobs have changed, experiences have changed, travel has happened, all sorts of great and extraordinary things, but it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen. It wasn't $1 million fell in my lap, right? But it did bring about me making choices and investing in myself, and learning more and more about myself, and aligning myself with being the highest version of myself, right? And so at the time when I first got the report done, I was okay, well, what do I do with this? Where do I go? How do I make this, how do I make myself the ruling number 10? And the person who was guiding me in that was well, I think, becoming a Reiki master teacher would be a great step for you. And so I did. I use, while I don't necessarily use it on, as an independent thing, I incorporate it into my Mama T energy, programs, but I'm not hey, let's have a one-on-one Reiki session. That's typically not what I do, and I didn't use that practice as that, but I use it on a daily basis, don't get me wrong, whether I talk about it or not. And so with that, coming back, I don't know, 2-3 years later, getting it done again, it's not I was told anything that I didn't already know. There were things that were nice little reminders, and it also just kind of reaffirmed, it was now that I say it out loud. Before I was well, how do I embody the ruling number 10? This time I'm yeah, I'm here. I've embodied this, and I get to move forward and grow and experience the next phase. And so you get your ruling number. There's also your days, there's a lot of things that are broken down, which again, highly recommend reaching out to my friend Karina and checking that out if that's something that is of interest to you. But you go down, and there is also your seasons. There's a season to that lasts about 9-year cycles, right? And so I'm entering into this cycle of basically release and letting things go that don't bring me joy. And it's really cool because I have what's called an arrow of frustration in my chart, which basically means that I don't necessarily finish anything that frustrates me. And it's not in a I'm not committed to getting things done kind of way. It's more into the if I can see and witness when something isn't going to bring the experience that I desire. So I have the ability to just say, all right, well, actually, no, I'm done. I don't need this in my life, or at least manifest opportunities to make it not a thing. I can think about, I was a part of a community once, and I got to a point where I was just I'm really feeling I'm not contributing the way I wanted. It's not bringing me the joy or the money that I thought it was going to. And before I knew it, it just like, I didn't even have to like ask to bow out. The person running it was like, actually, I'm rebranding, I'm changing everything up. So like, I let you all go with peace and love. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And I got to just step away and enter in on a whole new path, which is wonderful. So that's where I talk about like manifesting just an opportunity to just release. But sometimes I'm just like, you know what, like, I thought I wanted to write a book. Right now, writing the book feels like it's like I'm having to do it. It's not fun for me. It's not the experience. I much prefer putting things into a podcast form and talking to you and getting my thoughts and my experiences out that way. So this is what I'm doing. This is my fun. Somebody somewhere can like take the transcriptions and create a book out of it. I don't know. We can work on that later. But at this point, I am doing what brings me joy. And then, so this is going to be like the path for the next 9 years, is just coming more and more into the space of, all right, does this bring me joy? Does this bring me money? Does it bring me joy? Yes. Yes. Awesome. Let's keep doing it. No. Yes. Okay. It brings me joy. Let's keep doing it. Yes. No. Okay. We'll do this for a while, but we're going to have to figure out how to bring the joy into it, because it's going to make me happy for a little bit. I'm going to need to change something up to like bring in that joy so I can continue to do it, or it's just going to let go. Even if it is bringing, like, money's great and all. It helps in this society, but I have found that if it's not regularly bringing me joy, I'm going to tap out eventually. That frustration is going to show up and I'm going to tap out. And so having that numerology report helped me to give myself permission again to say no to some of these things and continue on the journey of like better aligning with the joy. Yes. And that's so fun because I don't know if you've been with me for a while. I had a series where I was doing how do I put this? Like word alignments, if you will. That's probably the best way. Embodiment of a certain word. So I did a whole, like a month or two where I was just like, I'm really focusing in on what the frequency of joy is. And I like went in and it was just really cool to see how by focusing in on the frequency of joy, my experience shifted, even though a lot of things, I was doing a lot of the same things every single day. By coming at it with this joy focus and this joy perspective, I just got to witness little bits of magic in my everyday life. And, you know, whether it be like someone randomly coming up to me and complimenting me or whatever, it just was like these little like sparks of magical, joyous moments, because that was the frequency that I was like really dialing into. And so with that, I just want to give yourself permission to experience whatever it is that you are desiring to experience, and remind yourself that you have this great innate power. This is why you desire whatever it is that you desire, because it is meant for you. It's calling to you, right? Yes, highly recommend getting your numerology done so you can have a better awareness. It falls into the same categories as like, you know, getting your birth chart done in terms of like your zodiac sign, or doing your Myers-Briggs, which is more scientifically aligned, or whatever. Like, you can, all of these things give you access to better understand yourself. But again, reminder to not make it define yourself, right? Don't put yourself in a box, is what I'm saying. So yes, I'm a ruling number 10. Yes, I give myself permission to embody all the things that I love about the ruling number 10. But am I going to make it like my entire identity? No, that's Mama T. I am Mama T. I get to make me my identity. And with that, as they are working on the outside and it's going to be distracting to me, I'm going to say ta-ta for now, and I will catch you on the next episode. Remember to subscribe and listen and share with 3 friends this episode of Coming Home with Mama T. Ta-ta.